Right now, there are a lot of concerns over federal changes that could impact nursing or other healthcare-related fields. The Department of Education has now removed nursing from a list of professional degrees, which means some students will not be eligible for federal loans. Your chief political reporter, Susan Ralph, is live at Goodwin University in East Hartford with the reaction to this. Susan?
Kara, Goodwin University is well known for its nursing program. More than 200 students graduate every year from this university, and we do have a nursing shortage, although some feel that these federal changes could make the shortage worse. Here at Goodwin University, students get hands-on experience. Goodwin has the largest college nursing simulation center in the state. Connecticut needs more nurses, but President Trump's big, beautiful bill doesn't classify nursing as professional. That means students who are seeking advanced degrees will not be eligible for graduate loans.
And it's not just Connecticut. Nationwide, the shortages are like something they've never seen before. And yet we're going to make sure that people can't get to that next step. We're talking a lot about what this means on a graduate level, but they've also pulled out the loan availability for students that are undergraduates even trying to become nurses.
Goodwin's president says many of the nurses will not be able to go back to school next year unless something changes. He also points out students with advanced nursing degrees become APRNs, advanced practice registered nurses. They are trained to diagnose illnesses and order tests, and patients often see them more than the doctor because there aren't enough primary care physicians. These federal loan changes may even counteract what states like Connecticut are now doing to encourage more men and women to become nurses. Tonight at 6, we'll tell you what Connecticut is doing. Plus, you'll also hear from a nursing student here at Goodwin about what impact this could have on her and future students. Your chief political reporter, Susan Ralph, Channel 3 Eyewitness News, live in East Hartford.